And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 6 recap. I'm your host, Jack. I'm here with Zyrek, and today we have got the conclusion of the second third of the season 11. Only 4 more weeks to go in a mad sprint to the finish, but first, we're going to recap all that went on in Week 6 and highlight what's going on in the future, including in the immediate future, some nice events that we have planned over the bye week, and also we will take a look at those Week 7 matches. Zyrek, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Like always, I'm glad to be here. I've been drinking so much water. My voice still isn't healed from from a couple days ago. For those who know, they know. But you know, I'm just glad to be here. And Jack, why don't we just roll right in? We got the transfers. There wasn't much, but there was a few, and some of them worked out well for these teams.
Yeah,
You know,
go ahead, go ahead. Announce to
yeah.
the world what Speed Demons pulled off.
Yeah, so Speed Demons do end up dropping On Fire to 2-day waivers. 3 Rocketeers drop Moose to 2-day waivers. The 3 Rocketeers take On Fire in the waiver claim, and the Speed Demons add BBB Toms to the roster. I mean, that's pretty good transactions if I do say so myself.
Yeah, uh, Tom's came in clutch for you guys in your last week matchup in Week 5. Part of the reason you guys were so successful against the Hammerheads, or that was your Week 5 match, right?
Yes, that
Yeah, that
was.
was your Week 5. So then you pick up Tom's now. Now you have him for full time, and as we will highlight a little bit further on, there there may have been some. It may have worked out for you. It may have worked out for you.
It might have.
Might have.
It just might have.
Might have just a little bit. Well, let's see how just a little bit it did work out for you as we have finished up the transfers. And we move on now to the weekly results, where you're going to see a couple things, a couple of shocks. Personally, kind of everything felt a little bit upside down, but why don't you talk us? I'll talk us through the first four, and then I'll let you cap off the last four. Clarity United versus Spectres took place before our recap, so that result was already spoiled. But Clarity United taking the win 2-1. Clarity United is in a absolute dogfight with not only the Kings but the Spectres as well for the number 1 seed. All three of those teams are only separated by 1 point. Clarity United and Kings both split 26 apiece, and Spectres are at 27 points. So very interesting fight at the top. These last 4 weeks will prove vital for determining who will take the number 1 seed. Rangers Vibe Clan Rangers take out the Vibe Clan, but not completely cleanly. Vibe Clan yet again pulling out a match win, taking some much needed points away and siphoning them up for themselves. Vibe Clan aren't necessarily doing the best, but they're making the best of their situation, and they're kind of playing a little bit of spoiler effect. We saw this against the Bleacher Boys as they defeated them and taking some points off the Rangers. Vibe Clan taking these games is going to be really important, especially because they're in the Savage division, the same division Clarity United and Kings are in. Moving forward to Arctic Assassins Armada, Arctic Assassins pulls out the 3-0 sweep here, and these 6 points are very important because these 6 points were kind of put Hammerheads on notice that they need to perform. And as you may have seen, this was not a notice that was well received by the Hammerheads. Arctic Assassins pulls further ahead in the Alpha Conference, in the calculated division, and I don't think there's any stopping them. And finally, a little bit of a surprise here. Sappers getting the 3-0 sweep against the Bleacher Boys. This wasn't entirely perfectly clean either. I do believe Bleacher Boys did pull off a point at the very least from an overtime result, but ultimately though still a much needed 6 points for the Sappers. As for the Cyclones, or as for the Bleacher Boys, they have fallen a little bit from grace here, and they will need kind of a little bit of a pick me up to get back into kind of the three horse race that we thought the Savage division would be.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of a lot of upsets, and I'm so glad you let me do the bottom four because most of these games are pretty big upsets. Speed Demons finding a way to take the win off of Mustangs 2-1 series. I mean, they do still get the 2 points, but we do still take the four. I believe we take the four. Yes. Yeah, we
Yes.
take 4 points off of the Mustangs. I mean, that does help us. It keeps us in a close race with the Hammerheads, and I mean, the only reason we are losing is because they have a win and we have two. We have one more loss. So I think even then they would still. Actually, no. Even if we didn't lose an extra game, we would actually end up outpacing them with, I believe, division losses. As we only have 3, they have 4. Elite Inc. versus Kings. Not a matchup I thought would go towards Elite Inc. But Vivo, Squiddied, and Naxid played out of their minds during that match. And I mean, I'm excited to see what else they can do and what other big teams they can bring down.
Yeah.
Cyclones finally finding a bit of a win against a decent team. 3 Rocketeers. I don't believe if that any of those games went to overtime. Actually, no, 2 of them went to overtime, games 1 and 2. So I believe both teams will come out kind of even on points actually.
Yeah. So Cyclones pulls out 4 points. Three Rocketeers only with 3, but this was a very close match. Yeah, it was a really fun cast.
Yeah, and then a game I never thought I would see, the Astros sweeping the Hammerheads. I mean, that does wonders for us, but at the same time, I didn't really expect the Astros to come out that fast and that strong, and I don't think the Hammerheads were either. They just kind of, they thought they could just take the stroll, take the win, but I mean, when you're going up against GN Flicks, there's not much you can do.
Especially want to highlight game one, 5-1, game two, 7-2. This wasn't just your normal, oh, shock upset. This was an utter demolishing. And I think Hammerheads need to regroup and recalibrate, and the Astros continue to be on a rocket ship. But
Yeah, I mean, even game 3 was close, but after the first 2 games, momentum is all in the side of Astros, and they just showed with how well they played.
yeah, that will do it for our results. Before we move on, I do just want to mention a little bit about the playoff picture at the end of week 6. We plan to have some sort of in the hunt kind of playoff graphic prepared for you. Unfortunately, I got the idea at very late o'clock last night, so gotta give gotta give Sea Strife some credit, but we also have to give him a little bit of time. Plus, I didn't really fully know how we want this to look. So, but regardless, I think it is still vital and valuable to kind of look at the playoff picture because the top 4 teams have still remained the same here. Spectres still number 1 on 27 points, winners of the Epic Division. Winners of the Savage Division Kings, or leaders of the Savage Division Kings, at 26 points. Leaders in the Sick Division Mustangs on 25. Arctic leaders of the Arctic Assassins also on 25. I got this wrong. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
This shouldn't be right. The Let me clarify that, ladies and gentlemen, live. The Arctic Assassins are actually ahead of the Mustangs. The Mustangs dropped to the 4 seed. Do I have this right? Let me just triple check. I do. No, I don't.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Mustangs
you
have
don't.
7 division wins. I don't know. Okay, my notes are off because
You were right the first time.
my notes have Arctic Assassins with more division wins than Mustangs. That's not correct. Apologies, my bad. Arctic Assassins fourth with 25 points, and Mustangs have them beat on division win loss. Those are your division winners. Now moving on from 5 through 8, 2 teams from Omega, 2 teams from Alpha. 5, Clarity United is. I got distracted. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Oh boy. I messed everything up. Hold on.
I feel
All
like we
right.
could just come back to
Sorry. Hold on. Okay. Appreciate it, Alex. We had a bot in the we had a bot in the chat. I was trying to ban it. It didn't work.
You clicked the wrong button,
I
but our commissioner came in
I
clutch.
pinned XD Shots message. Shout out.
No.
My bad. It's a good time. It is just a little bit. The color is a little bit looser on these recaps, but anyway, moving
We
on.
like to have fun here.
Moving on through 5 through 8, Clarity United with more points than Mustangs and Arctic Assassins, but fall to the 5 seeding because the Kings beat them in the division. Clarity United as a 5 seed versus currently Arctic Assassins as a 4 seed the if the if the playoffs started today, that would be a fun matchup to watch. But moving right along, 6 Rangers at 25 points. 7th, Bleacher Boys retain at 23 points. And 8th, the Elite Inc. are now firmly in the playoff picture without any tie breaks, without any conference shenanigans. Elite Inc. is the 8th seed at 22 points. Now, we do have 4 weeks of Rocket League left, and none of these teams are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs yet, so anybody can get any spot. The Spectre's throne is in question, and even the Cyclones at the very end can still make the playoffs. But running through 9 through 16 real quick, Astros at 9. They're on a rocket ship. I have no doubt they are my pick to make it into the playoffs. I am most confident about the Astros making it into the playoffs versus any of these other teams, and I feel very high
Whoa,
about the Speed
whoa,
Demons.
whoa!
I'm not saying they're going to be the only
Whoa!
one, but I feel like they're the most guaranteed. And especially with some of the Mustangs slip ups, there's a chance Mustangs are dethroned here by the Astros.
I mean, I could definitely see that. I could very well see that happening. Astros having a fantastic run as of late. They've kind of gotten their stuff together, and it's kind of helped them out quite a bit.
Yeah. So Astros are 9. Hammerheads, first time out of the playoff picture since I believe maybe week 1. They're 10th with 18 points. 11th, Speed Demons tied at 18 points, but separated by division win. No, separated by regular win loss. Just one win loss separates them. If you guys manage to pull off the 3-0 sweep, not only would you be unequivocally ahead of them, but you wouldn't quite be in the playoffs picture. But you would be over the Astros at the 9 spot. 12th, Armada at 17 points. 13th, Sappers, despite getting their sweep, are only on 14 points. That feels rough. That's not right either. Sappers have 9 wins. That's not correct. Okay, we'll make sure that's updated for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Sappers actually should be at 18 points and a little bit higher up the list, although they do not make I believe they still don't make playoffs even with the sweep. So yep, we will make sure we get that right for you guys, but this that
We like
is
to have fun,
that's
Drac.
rough. Hold on, let me check.
Yeah.
Oh, Bleacher Boys are also very wrong too.
I guarantee. I mean, there's
I know what
probably some
happened.
teams
I
that
have a
are
feeling I know what happened. I think Bleacher Boys got 6 points from this result when they shouldn't have. Let me just double check here. Uh, that would be unfortunate if that is the case. Yes, they did get 6. Bleacher Boys erroneously got 6 points in the stats spreadsheet. We'll get corrected. We'll get that corrected. Yeah, I was looking through these. I was surprised Bleacher Boys were 7th after getting swept, but that makes a lot more sense now. This
Yeah.
does change the math a little bit because Bleacher Boys subtract 5 points. They're outside the playoff picture, and Hammerheads re-enter it in the Bleacher Boys' place because they are the highest alpha conference team. So Hammerheads are actually still in the playoffs. Bleacher Boys fall to, I believe, they're still above. They are above the Armada, but below Hammerheads and Speed Demons. I believe. I think so. Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't know. Drax's the one that has all this information. I'm just letting him ball at this point.
I'm just looking at the stats and standings. Okay. So, Vibe Clan 14th, 3 Rocketeers 15th, Cyclones 16th. That I know for a fact. 3 Rocketeers and Cyclones, despite getting a good amount of points, not enough to jump any places. Vibe Clan's having a rough go at it with their schedule, but they are the spoilers this season. They have been taking some wins off of some very difficult teams. So that's going to do it for our botched playoff recap. Week 7 onwards, we'll have a playoff. We will highlight the playoff race, who we think's going to be in it, who we think has the best outside shot going in, and who maybe needs to work a little bit harder to retain their playoff spot. But numbers are one thing. The numbers, the who has the most points, who's got the win losses, that's one thing. But how is the QRLS feeling about these teams? And not necessarily equate to the seeding, but some important trends. Zyrek, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, I'll definitely start us off with the top 8 because I'm excited for one of these teams. Clare United do take the number 1 spot. Spectres end up dropping down to 2. Kings take the 3rd as well. Very solid top 3, I will say. Arctic Assassins as well, obviously taking that 4th spot. These are all very, very solid teams to have in the top 4.
It's really hard to pick. Like, I was trying to do
I know.
it, and it's like, I can't. I
I
can't
know
decide.
it's so difficult to decide who goes where. But the Astros taking a deserving spot at number 5, Mustangs dropping down to 6, and Drac, the Speed Demons, making their comeback, move up all the way to 7th in the
and
power rankings.
and we'll never hear the end of it.
Absolutely, you won't, because we were 16 like 3 weeks ago, and now we're 7th, and we've been doing so well. Rangers obviously dropping down a little bit after a game loss to, I believe that was Vibe Clan. And I mean, I'm not shocked, but I don't think a single loss against Vibe Clan should drop them down to 8th. But Drac, why don't you finish off with the last 8 teams for us?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like before we go 9 through 16 here, Astro on a complete rocket ship kind of squeezes everybody else down. Mustangs shock at 6, even though they are still the number 3 seed. So maybe a little bit of vulnerability there. The QRLS predicting that they're going to fall out of the top 4. But moving on through 9 through 16, Hammerheads are outside of the top 8 for, I believe, the first time in this recap or in the power rankings. Number 10, Elite Inc. They come up after a shock upset against the Kings. 11, Armada slide down a little bit more. They have been a very up and down team, and with the sweep against the Arctic Assassins, the wind is starting to the wind is starting to, so to speak, come out of the Armada sails, and playoff hopes are starting to slip a little bit now. Before, where it looked like the Armada may have had the best shot at breaking the Mustangs, catching up to them, the Astro look like they're going to be the team to do that now, or the team most likely to do that. Number 12, Bleacher Boys. That's what happens when you get swept by a team that I think a lot of us gave up on, and a lot of us felt like they were just completely done. But the Sappers are never done. The Sappers have come back, brought on Dr. George a couple of weeks ago, and that was a roster move that has worked out swimmingly for both parties. Speaking of which, Sappers on the climb. They need to do a little bit more work in order to fully return their image, but for now, they're in the right direction. 14th Cyclones, 15's the Vibe Clan, 16 3 Rocketeers. Cyclones get a couple pity points for the win. Vibe Clan sinks a little bit because their schedule coming up these last couple of matches is going to be very difficult, and the 3 Rocketeers retain their spot on the bottom. That does it for the Power Rankings. Anything stand out to you, Zarek, apart from the Speed Demons? You're not. We get the Speed Demons.
No, like honestly, I mean, a lot of these rankings are, where they should be. But Drag, I am gonna say the Speed Demons. I'm shocked we are going to 7th already. I believe we were 11th place last week. So I'm shocked we jumped up as far as we did.
You guys are 1 point away from the playoffs.
I
Is
know,
literally
and
separated by division win loss. Hammerheads
and
have
we're
your
coming for
number
it.
just a little bit.
We're
So
coming for it.
all you need is to do well in your series next week against the Hammerheads.
Whoa, whoa! Spoilers! We haven't gotten there yet.
It's coming up. It's literally the next thing on the docket. No, but
You are right.
Speed Demons and Astros kind of felt like the two teams that have just completely reinvented their season. But underrated pull here, Elite Inc. I think maybe should be higher. I think Elite Inc. have finally figured out their roster, and they've managed to pull this off with no roster changes that I can see. No permanent roster changes at the very least. They had a couple of subs, but the Elite Inc. have started winning some matches. They started getting some impressive results. I think this time, week 7, we'll see them break into. They'll be the next team that breaks into the top 8. Now, which of these teams falls out of the top 8? I'm not that sure. They all kind of look really good. But I think the Elite Inc. definitely are in top 8 talks. Hammerheads, I, as preseason winners, I feel like they've got a lot of grace for a long time, but I feel like teams might be starting to figure them out a little bit, and they have just been sliding ever since. Arctic Assassins looks on nearly untouchable at the top of the division. They almost looked as they almost look as untouchable as the Mustangs this time last week before their match against you guys. Um, so yeah, I think definitely we have the beginnings of some very special like turning of tables as some of these divisions are getting flipped on top of their heads. But that will do it for the weekly results. That will do it for the power rankings. That will do it for the playoff recap that was heavily scuffed. We'll do better. But moving on now to our matchups that I kind of spoiled a little bit, get a little bit ahead of ourselves. But
Just a little bit.
before we go into the exact matchups, we gotta talk about this match of the week. We're in rematch territory now with these divisional matchups, and the first one here is gonna be a banger. Spectres versus Rangers, two teams that were looking untouchable, and now they both still remain near the top of the table, both fighting for the top 4 spots for the division crown. These teams are separated by 2 points, and if Rangers pull out a good enough win, there's a chance they can jump all the way to the top of the table.
I mean, yeah, Spectres have been looking very, very dominant lately. I mean, they had a good run. They had a flawless run for a little bit, but all of a sudden, they started losing game here and there. The Rangers, ever since they got Niner back, they have been looking just phenomenal. I mean, and the addition of Jay Jr. as well. I mean, what more could you ask for from a team? I mean, a 255 and a 270 that you can interchange back and forth. I don't even know how this matchup would go. This is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough, especially because both Jay Jr. and Niner are both very good, and I don't know who's better at this point. I would have felt like Niner would have been the easy pull, but Jay Jr. has shown some fantastic leaps. And what's really funny is sometimes some of the players don't necessarily look ahead at their schedule, and see some of the reactions. Not to call out anybody in particular, but somebody just learned that they were playing the Spectres for weeks, or the Rangers for week
Rangers.
7, excuse me. And
Yeah.
yeah, someone
We're
someone
not pointing
might.
it. We're not pointing fingers
We're
at
not
anybody,
pointing
but
fingers, but
someone.
somebody uh just learned to play the Rangers. It's divisional week, and the divisional matchups here. I'm surprised that the there was not the Savage Division matches, but I mean this match is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a battle of not only I wouldn't say a battle of the wits, but it's pretty much gonna be a battle of mechanics. Both Jay Jr. and apparently Niner are very mechanical players. So I'm expecting one of them to get at least in the top 5 clips for next week.
Definitely for sure. But that is our match of the week. The rest of the matchups now are as follows: Bleacher Boys Kings. Bleacher Boys kind of needs to reassert their image after getting completely swept by the Sappers, but the Kings as well, with a shock upset against Elite Inc. they're going to need to do some image reestablishment as well. Which one of these teams is going to come out a little bit cleaner than they left? I'm not so sure. I can't predict this one. These two teams feel like they're very on and off, very hot and cold. So we will see which comes out on top. Clarity United versus Vibe Clan feels like an easy match on paper, but Vibe Clan is really good at taking games off of good teams, and we're waiting for the day where Vibe Clan strings it together to the point where they have a complete shocker of a sweep potentially. Not necessarily saying that's going to happen against Clarity United. Clarity United's a very good team, so I don't think Vibe Clan are a sure sweep by any stretch of the imagination, but Clarity United also needs as many points as they can get, as they are in a fight not only to break into the top four, but to be the number one seed. So they're going to be looking at the Ranger Spectres and Bleacher Boys Kings matches very closely. Hammerhead Speed Demons. This one is a rematch that has the markings of a classic. Hammerheads have been pretty much, I don't want to say dead in the water, but they've looked a lot different after their loss against the Speed Demons than before. And in order to reassert themselves, in order to reestablish themselves as a threat, in order to rebuild their season, they need to beat the Speed Demons this time. But the Speed Demons also need a win here in order to finally break into the playoff picture, all the way from the basement of the division, of the calculated division, all the way back up potentially to the playoff picture. And finally, Three Rocketeers versus Arctic Assassins. Arctic Assassins looking as strong as ever after a good sweep, and the Three Rocketeers a tight but ultimately fruitful excuse me, I cannot speak today. A tight but ultimately unfruitful series against the Cyclones. This one might feel like a sweep, but this could be a trap game, especially with Three Rocketeers now really getting into the swing of things with On Fire. Feels like Three Rocketeers has a chance here to maybe take a game, maybe a second game. But that will do it for our first four matchups. Zyrek, you want to conclude the final four?
Would love to. I mean, we already did talk about, Rangers Spectres. The match could go either way. So I'll just go straight on to Sappers versus Elite Inc. That's a matchup I'm interested to watch. Sappers needing these wins as much as they can, but Elite Inc. looking as as phenomenal as they have been, taking out these powerhouse teams. I mean, that'll end up pushing them, depending on how the Spectre Rangers game goes, could end up pushing them in contention to take the second place in the Epic Division. I mean, I would love to see that. That would be fantastic. I think that series is going to be a great one to watch.
Definitely, it will be a fun one. It will be a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact the second that one gets scheduled, I'm throwing my name in there. I want to be there when this match happens. Armada Mustangs, another matchup where, if Armada wins, they might end up taking Astro's position. But that is also if Astro ends up losing to Cyclones, which I'm going to be honest with what I've seen from the Astros lately, I don't really see that happening. But the Cyclones have been working with their new roster, so I haven't personally seen them play yet, but I'm excited to see them play. So that is another game where when they get scheduled, I'm gonna be there.
Uh, Patty, great introduction to the Cyclones roster. It I got dragged into some ranked threes with Alex, the lovely commissioner of the QRLS, and Patty. Fun fact: they both have QRL. They have not QRL. Oh, sorry. They both have RLCS tags, and I'm Diamond 3. So. Oh,
I'd ask how that was, but I don't know if that really goes into the weekly recap.
it wouldn't make clips of the week. I mean, some of the shots the opponents have hit on me might make clips of the week. I wouldn't put it on clips of the week though. I just yeah, that to be fair, it wasn't actually terrible, but
Fast
it was definitely
paced.
an experience.
Yeah.
But that will do it. Once again, these week 7 matchups will be taking place after the bye week, so look for these between the 5th and the 11th of April, or 6th and 12th of April. Don't remember exactly when the weeks start, but the week of April 6th, we will expect to look for these matchups. And also, just a note now, as I'm on top of it and I'm remembering it, we will not be having a recap on April 7th as there's not much to go over during a bye week. So, with the matches out of the way, let's highlight some special players. So, every play week, the QRLS, I forget what, Players of the Week committee. I don't remember what
Yeah.
they're called.
They
A
are the players of
committee
the
a
week committee.
committee of QRLS or players and community members comes up with what they feel are the top 4 players in each division. And so, starting us off now in the calculated division, it is Rikaru, 320 score with 4 goals, 1 assist, 2 saves. Really kind of an unsung pivotal part of the sweep here against the Armada.
I mean, definitely not as much of a playmaker as he turns out to be. But hey, when you can score goals, you don't have to be passing as much. If you can get that shot and you can get it in the net, it doesn't matter if you pass. It just matters if you win. And that's exactly what they did.
Definitely, for sure. Now it's the Savage Division. We have got the return of Clarity United dominant. It's Scanty against the Spectres. 560 points, 3 goals, 7 assists, over 2 assists a game with 4 saves to boot. This is someone who is absolutely lighting it up and was pivotal in the Clarity United win over the Spectres.
And I mean, as you see Daniel with a little bit of flashbacks from the game, I mean, Scanty played out of his mind. Not only is he getting 3 goals, he's getting at least a goal per game. He's getting a save per game, a little more than a save per game. He's also getting more than 2 assists per game. This man peaked out of his mind. And I mean, Scanty, this is a spot you deserve right now.
Definitely. When you put up those type of numbers against a team like the Spectres, it is always noteworthy. But moving on now to the Epic Division, we have another returning face. It's Mel, who also is against that Clarity United Spectres matchup. Really great matchup, all things considered. It's a shame that we didn't get to fully break it down in the preview because that match happened before the recap. But man, this Mel tearing up the score on the other side. 450 points per game, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 saves.
I mean, this is giving me flashbacks of going up against the Spectres and Mel just being there on every shot, getting every save, and that's what he does. He's a savior demon. But also, he's putting up points like it's nobody's business. He's scoring 3 goals. He's assisting 3 goals. He's doing everything on the field to keep his team in there. And it was unfortunate that they couldn't take a win. Actually, did they get swept? No, they 2-1 them,
They
right?
got 2-1. They
They
got
got
to
two
win.
one.
They got to win. They're
It's
in there.
unfortunate
They
they
got to
didn't
win.
get another win.
They didn't get the series win. But overall, it was still an amazing matchup and definitely tightens things up at the top even more. Clarity United 1 point away from the Spectres. But to round this out for the SIC division, for the first time in season 11, I do believe, but deserved nonetheless. It's Flicks. It is going to be Flicks. You saw how Flicks played. It was going to be Flicks.
I mean, he is dropping almost 800 points per game, scoring 8 goals in 3 games. I mean, having a game that went 7-2 probably helps quite a bit. But he also has 4 assists. He's helping his teammates get some goals, making sure that their stats are also gonna be on par. And then he's just dominating defense. 7 saves as well. He was doing fantastic that series.
Definitely. I mean, Flicks is the epitome of the Astros. If Flicks does well, the Astros are doing really well. And 3-0 sweep against the Hammerheads. Definitely worthy player of the week there, if not just for that score alone. God, that was an insane match and a beautiful end to the play week. Now, I'm going to take us back to the base screen because
You got something special, Jack.
because we gotta
Don't
say
say, don't say
something.
I'm also here.
I alone am the sole
What?
arbiter
You
of.
know
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We gotta talk about something.
I think we do.
We
I
gotta
mean,
we gotta talk about something that specifically happened in the Astro Hammerhead match.
we have to show him, right?
It's it's like we didn't want to put this on clips of the week because we didn't
Because there were
want this
so
to
many
get
good clips.
we didn't want this to get buried. We didn't want this to lose its impact. We need to highlight this, especially right here, right now. An honorary mention to clips of the week. It's Joe Papa. Absolutely stunting on some fools here. Take it away, Zyrek.
I mean, Joe Papa finds the space, pops it to the backboard, and nails the double tap home right on the forehead of Mr. GN Flicks himself. I mean, what more could you ask for from a player like Joe Papa? He played very well that series. And I mean, this is
Play
a
it again.
very
We gotta play it. We gotta play it
honorable
again.
mention.
Let's play
Yeah,
it
we
again.
do.
Gotta
We've
play
got to
it
watch
again.
this
We
again.
gotta play it
We've
again.
got to see the Joe Papa double tap. I mean, this was beautiful.
I
What?
remember like this happened live and I I just couldn't believe it. Like I think Norm even dropped in the chat. That was Joe, by the way, as if we didn't know, as if we didn't see with our own eyes. But that was an insane clip. But bringing us now back, we have gone over the results. We've gone over the transfers. We have touched on the week's matchups ahead. We have covered players of the week, covered playoff implications. We have covered everything. That just means there's one thing left to go. It is everyone's favorite segment, Clips of the Week. Top 5 plays of the week. Starting us off at number 5. It's gonna be the Squiddied. It was the Squiddied.
I mean,
pitch.
this was insane to not only watch, but to cast as well, because we had the interview with Vivo after, and here's the pinch, by the way. 165 kph, I believe it's 102 miles per hour. Vivo actually tried calling off Squiddied on this shot, but it ended up working out so well.
Squiddy like, nah, I hit these. This is mine. Anyway, number 4, we've got Long Neck getting everybody in Clarity United involved. That was 3 team passing play up the middle of the field to just bamboozle the ever loving bejeebies out of the Spectre. Fortunately, no overlay. But
I want to point out, Scanty pre-flipped that shot, by the way. He pre-flipped the pass.
that was gonna say too. Number 3, Kawhi. We're talking about these too long. We got more clips to go over. Kawhi absolutely hitting this sidewall redirect.
Oh,
Henri's too. Henri's too.
I know.
That's the greatest part.
Henri's forehead. You know, Reese might have had 0 boost. We'll draw that in. Full tank. Full tank of boost.
Edit it in post. Just full tank of boost. Number 2, gotta give some glaze here to their head of production, or head of media. Sorry, C Strife, maker
this was beautiful.
of all of these wonderful graphics. Where'd everybody go? Where did everybody go?
Somebody call Dora and find them a map. That is an insane fake. Vivo gone out to right field. I mean, that was insane. And number 1, I mean, Drac, does he need any more introduction?
No, Vivo. We talked to him before this. This was the one that I really just had to admire. Dude didn't know where the net was. It went up to the stratosphere to just bump that into the net. He had no idea where the defender was, no idea where the net was. And that's really just a hard shot to hit. But one more time.
Yeah,
just one more time.
We gotta see that one
more time. One more time. One more time.
One more time for the honorary mention, Joe Papa. Mr. Joe Papa himself. I mean, the GOAT.
Joe Papa hitting the redirect. All 135 player rating coming out. Make him 175. Make him 200. This guy's hitting clips. He can't be 135.
He's, you know what? Bump him up. 300. 301, actually. He's beaten Alex.
Yeah. Oh, that was insane. But that's going to do it for the recap for the stuff going on, stuff coming up. We do have a couple of community events that will be taking place. Zyrek, you want to go over them?
I mean, you know probably more than I do about some of these events, but it looks like, the time is a little bit rough. We don't know exactly when, but we saw him once, and we'll say his name again. Mr. Joe Papa is hosting a tournament. It's either gonna be a hoops or an extra mode, depending on what it looks like. But it's not confirmed. But it might fall around Easter Sunday, somewhere around that time frame. And then I believe within the Discord itself, Eagle, the one and only, is trying to see what kind of games we want to play. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Gartic Phone night Remember, please keep this PG-13. We are not trying to make anything bad.
Oh boy, that'll be an interesting one. I cannot wait to engage with the community in a family-friendly PG-13 way. And if I have to come back
I'm
on this
sure it'll stay
stream
that way.
and apologize, I'm just gonna be just so sad and disappointed if I have to apologize for the behavior of certain individuals who will remain nameless. Zyrek.
Whoa, 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 what did I do? Whoa,
Nothing. I'm
I'm
just
sensing some hostility here.
no, never. If you've never mentioned you being on stream with or without certain articles of clothing before.
And
All right.
your point.
And what is it? What does that possibly mean? But that will do it for the recap. Thank you all for joining us. We will be taking the April 7th off. That is our bye week, and Zyrek is going to be in a charity hockey tournament.
Yeah, it's gonna be the pediatrician ICU unit versus the adult ICU unit, and I'm playing for the adult ICU team, even though I'm not a doctor. I got asked to play to sub in for a doctor, and I want this to be known. I know absolutely nobody there except for the other goaltender.
The ringer. The absolute ringer. We love that. But that's going to do it for the recap. We always have a good time here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for putting up with some good old fashioned weekly recap stream stuff. And make sure if you are new to the stream or to the QRLS, make sure to check out the links in the chat and in the description of the stream. We've got Discord where all of these events are going to be happening and all of these matches get scheduled and streamed. We have got a YouTube page where the VODs will end up. I do believe we are waiting on, I don't know if the week 6 matches have hit the YouTube page just yet, but they will at some point, so keep a lookout up for those. We also have a Twitter page and an Instagram, but also if you want to support the QRLS, we have creator code QRLS for the Epic Store if you want to pick up any goodies in the Rocket League shop or the Fortnite shop. Make sure you use
Or
creator
anything
code
epic related.
or Epic or anything Epic related. Use creator code QRLS. And we do have a merch store with some new goodies in new t-shirts that Penguin was advertising.
Yeah, the new quick chat ones. Let's see, we've got what a save, faking. What a save twice. GG, great pass, nice shot, and the bumping quick chats. So definitely be sure to check those out. I mean, they look very, very cool.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke here that if Speed Demons win the QRLS, I'll pick up a Speed Demons jersey, but that I
I
don't
will buy you a Speed Demons
I don't
jersey.
like how close we're getting to that being because this was a joke I had back in like week 3, and when we were all funny, it was all funny and y'all joking about ha, Speed Demons got swept, and now it's like, oh, they're real now. So
We're
they're
making the
real.
comeback happen.
Yes, we do have team jerseys in the merch store. Check out the merch store
Yeah, I
in
mean we
the
got
description. Also, I believe it is !merch in the
yeah.
merch store. But finally, I think that was everything.
I think so. I think so. I mean, not only we don't just have jerseys. We've got team T-shirts. I believe we've got hats for the teams as well,
Mouse
and
pads,
mouse pads.
a whole suite of things. Dude, just
I mean, this just looks amazing.
one more reminder, this is the second bye week, so we will not be having any matches for this week. We will pick up on the QRLS action that you all know and love at the start of week 7, week of April 6th. So stay tuned. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And as always, keep it quick.